Hey, Wacky Teacherpreneur Frenzies. I'm so happy to see you today. I'm here with my buddy Amanda. Looks like she's getting ready to travel somewhere. If you check out our YouTube channel, I'm just looking at a bunch of deer that I do not plan on shooting because I do not kill deer.
Good to know.
If you were worried about that. Today's episode, we're going to talk all about collaborations and getting burned. And this is what I learned like as soon as I joined social media is that people instantly wanted to collaborate on projects with me. And I joined social media because I went to the Teachers Pay Teachers conference and they told me to do it. They're like, you got to start collaborating and meeting people. And I just naturally was myself and people were gravitated towards me. And I have been burned more times than I can count. Dozens. I could write a book actually, but I don't want to get sued by all the people I'll talk trash about in the book. So, anyways, me and Amanda are going to tell our stories today, see what we can come up with, see what we can dig up. And really, I want to give you some lessons just in case you start to get approached by people to do collaborations. I'm just going to tell you what I've learned, what I wish I knew. So you don't get burned because this show is all about helping people, not just complaining about them. All right. And welcome back to the Getting Burned episode. Ouch. Ooh, my skin still is sizzling from all the burns I've gotten from social media over the years and all the collaborations I've done that have all failed, except for this one. This is my only long-standing, long-running collaboration is with Amanda. Gosh, I mean, I think we've been friends now for like 8 or 9 years. It's been almost a decade. I actually think next year might be a decade. I think I started doing stuff in 2016 and next year's 2026. So I think it's going to be our decade anniversary soon, Amanda. How do you feel about that?
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But I do think that we have some drama. I mean, there's a lot of we went a period of time where we kind of I don't know if we were enemies, but we were definitely awkwardly kind of avoiding each other for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we were or not. I see it differently than Amanda does because like I had a lot of weird things going on in my life at the time, and Amanda wasn't exactly aware of those weird things. Oh my
Should we
gosh,
talk about that
Obi-Wan.
first or should we
Oh,
talk about
Obi-Wan
others?
is. Oh, can I pause this? Obi-Wan is barking again. I need to get him in the house.
Sure.
Sorry. Okay, so me and Amanda was probably my first collaboration on social media, one of the first people I met. And we actually met through, we were watching this person was periscoping on this app, and we were both in the audience talking to her. And I remember that being our first interaction, is I kept running into you during these live videos. Like we were both commentators.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. That's how we first started talking to each other. And yeah, we did TPT Life. We instantly bonded on our love of Teachers Pay Teachers and wanting to be bigger Teachers Pay Teachers sellers. And that was our first collaboration, was called the TPT Life. We had a website called teacherpreneur.info, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I would say that we did a lot of stuff for at least a year. I mean, it may have been longer. And we did have a falling out over this website that I wanted Amanda to build me a website. I mean, she did offer. I don't remember being demanding about it, but apparently, as the website was being built, then I was getting more and more demanding about it. And Amanda was feeling unappreciated, but I was also in this really weird place where I was gaining like an insane amount of popularity on not on Teachers Pay Teachers, but on social media, where I was like the number one teacher periscoper for a while. And I would get like hundreds of people requesting things of me a day. And I really didn't know who to trust or who was using me for my popularity because I was being used so much. Like you would not believe the things that people were using me for. Like, I mean, it was crazy. Like, looking back on it, it was wild. People were asking me to co-author books, speak at universities, travel around the country, perform at meetups. They were asking me to endorse products they had made, make commercials for them, make videos for them. They were asking me to like talk to them nonstop every day. And so, I mean, I did see Amanda as like one of my true friends, but I also was getting so many weird things like thrown at me that I guess I was being, and looking back, that Amanda sees it as I was being kind of ungrateful for her services and being kind of demanding and picky. But in my point of view, I was like, there was like 1,000 baseballs being thrown at my head, and I was just swatting them all away. I really didn't know who to trust, who to talk to, who to lean into, who was really there for me, who was being, genuine, or who was just trying to, use me for my popularity. And I did have a lot of website builders at the time offering to build me websites. Don't think Amanda knew that. I was working with like 5 different people on websites. One lady just made me one, right? Her name was Christy. She was so sweet. She just made me a website. She's like, here's a website. I thought you'd like it, right? And it was like crazy. Like I was not asking people to do these things, but everybody wanted a piece of me and I was being pulled. I was on so many podcast channels and so many YouTube channels. I lost track of how many shows that I was on. It was wild time. So yeah, we did have a falling out as Amanda, had been one of my oldest friends, and she probably could kind of sense I was being like pulled away from her and our friendship by all these other people. And like I said, I didn't really know who to trust. I was just going with what felt right at the time. And obviously my intuition is pretty bad. So Amanda, what do you remember?
from TPT life. And oh,
Well,
well,
yeah, like how it all ended and us getting mad at each other.
yeah, no, I think that you thought I was using you. And what I was doing was totally not that, because what happens with me, and I've had a lot of collaborations, I've never had that experience of sort of going viral and kind of getting semi-famous online. So I don't know what that's like. Um, and I don't want that. Like I think I've never wanted that. I think I've definitely wanted to make more money and to help more people. And I think you didn't, we had just been friends for a few years at that point. So I don't think we really knew each other as well as we do now. But at that point, I think you had a good reason to feel like, gosh, who's using me? Who's not using me? And I think you thought I was using you to get famous too, or whatever, because at the time I was thinking of, I think I did become a web designer. Like there was like a year of my life when I like really wanted to be a web designer because I loved building websites and I was excited for opportunities to build websites. Um, and like even our collaboration, I think was fueled by my like love of making websites. So like I created teacherpreneur.info and even wackyteacherpreneurs.com. Like I got really excited about making this website and like I just really like putting graphics together and like playing around with like making it look good. I'm not a web designer anymore because it's a nightmare working with clients who have different ideas about what looks good. Like I'm just like, what you like is not what I like. But anyways, so I realize now, and from my point of view, I thought you were just getting like, I'm trying to think of this saying, like you were becoming this like snobby famous person, like that's what I thought. Like from my point of view, I was like, wow, she's really pushing people around now just because she's famous on Periscope or Instagram or whatever. And so like I just got really mad and like we stopped talking. I think there was one conference where like we saw each other and we were like, hi, even though like the conference before that we like roomed together, and then the next conference I think we saw each other and just said hi, but I don't know, and it was awkward, and I started hanging out with this other friend of mine who we're still friends, but we ended up collaborating for a couple of years on this website called Teachbox, and we sold monthly curriculum and had like a membership together. Amanda from Mud and Ink Teaching. I don't think she cares that I tell people about that. I think both of us really benefited from that collaboration because we created so many products because we had to create new things every month for our members. Yeah. So, but Amanda and I mean, we still have a little bit of like, I don't know, like I'm kind of jealous a bit. And I've told Amanda this. Like, it's funny, her name's Amanda too. We're the two Amandas. Um, yeah, because she's had a lot of success in her TPT business. She has a podcast too called Brave New Teaching, which is like an amazing podcast. And she collaborates with Marie, the caffeinated teacher. I'm name dropping all over the place here, but like they have got a really good thing going. And so I've told Amanda this before, like, why didn't we start a podcast, Amanda? Like, man. And they like do all these they like do I think they've done TPT, they're presenters at TPT. Like every year they talk about podcasting. And so, it's hard and I wonder what tips we're going to give people about collaborating. Like I don't know. Maybe we need a
Well,
second episode. I feel like this is a
maybe
two-parter.
Maybe we do. And
Yeah.
I too have two bombshells to drop on you after your story there is one. I remember when Amanda started collaborating with Amanda, and I'm like, oh, there she goes again. She's looking for someone new and replacing me. I was jealous, right?
Oh,
So I was jealous when Amanda ditched me for Amanda. But I mean, I just was like, what is she doing now? I remember being mad about it. And then, secondly, I was there the day that Marie met Amanda. I was
oh,
there. I saw them meet for the first time. I was actually like, I think I took a picture of it, but like they didn't even like we were all together in a long row. We were presenters at a conference called Keeping the Wonder, and it was in
oh
Louisville,
yeah.
Kentucky. And or maybe it was Lexington. I don't remember. Anyway, we were all in a row, and that was apparently the first day they had ever met each other. And
Really?
they were both excited to see me. I mean, not really Amanda, but Marie was. She was really excited to meet me for the first time,
That's
right?
awesome.
But she ended up meeting Amanda, and then they started like this number one top podcast together and business together. So it's kind of funny that I was there the day that happened. So I wanted to tell you that.
What's really awesome too is the thing that inspired this podcast was going to Marie and Amanda's session at which conference was that? The one in Chicago? I think it was the one in Chicago. And I was so inspired by them and their presentation. And I think that was what caused us to reunite, you and I, because I started voxing you and I was like, oh my gosh, I really would love to collaborate on a podcast with someone. Do you want to make a podcast together? And you were like, yeah, let's do it. So it's so interesting how these little tiny things, these little like meetings or conversations, or I don't know, like, and all of these things kind of happened both online and at conferences, like or meetups, where these relationships were kind of fostered. Um, and I know we have an episode about meetups and teachers pay teachers conferences and like, should you go, should you not go? And I do think that we recommended, yes, go because you're going to meet new friends and you never know what collaboration is going to take off. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I'm looking back at like advice I wish I could give myself, and I don't know if there is any really. I don't know if you can really go back and change the past or, I am learning a lot about people's personalities, and if anyone seems like too eager to like want to do things with you, they could be using you. Like it might not be very genuine, right? Like if people are too eager and oh, if they compliment you a lot in the beginning, if they just shower you with compliments and tell you how amazing they are, and then here's the
That's
other
all me.
I know. Let's see if the next one is you too, Amanda. The next one is if they tell you that they don't make friends easily and they're not really a people person, they don't really like people very much and they don't make friends easily, but they're including you because you're so cool. You're so amazing that they're including you in their circle or they think you're cool, but they don't think anyone else is cool. I can't talk. That is a big sign. And I'm not saying that anyone listening right now is like, oh, what if I go viral? What's going to happen? But those are some of the lessons I've learned from my dozens of failed collaborations is I actually typed them all out one day to ChatGPT. I was like, this is everything that's ever happened to me on social media and through my Teachers Pay Teachers store. I told them about all the people that had burned me. They all did have that in common where they were like, oh, you're special and nobody else is. That is like classic kind of like sociopath, avoidant disorder. Like it's like people that, are trying to trick you and it's just their personality kind of. And that's what I've learned. And so like I don't really remember you like you say that you do that, but I don't really think you do because
Well,
you have mood swings and you could have like a really great day where you're complimentary, but then the next day you might be a little crabby and aggressive. Whereas these people are very sweet the first like 60 days you know them. Like they never skip a beat. They're perfectly upbeat, happy, and they tell you that you're special and nobody else is, and that you're different than other people. You're so different. We're outsiders. We're rebels.
well, I don't know. And I think sometimes um, you don't really know a person until you've known them for like a few years, right? Like, I don't know. I'm thinking about, I've just recently collaborated with someone and I'll just Adrian Martenza, and I just met him, and I looked at some of the things that he was doing online, and we collaborated on a few episodes on my podcast. He was a guest on my podcast. He's a technologist. He started a tech company when he was 13. He's an amazing person, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's this thing called being co-opted, where you sort of I don't know. And I have this tendency to sort of like put people on pedestals. And so like if you have these tendencies, being aware of them. Do you know what I mean? Like making it seem like when you meet a person and you're just like, wow, this person is so amazing. I can't believe they even want to collaborate with me, that's a red flag too, because I have sort of low self-esteem, and I have like this tendency and I'm aware of it. And so when it happens, I'm not taking action without sort of thinking it through, like, oh, this is a pattern I have where I sort of become like co-opted by other people's missions. Um, and like kind of forget everything about what I have going on and sort of drop everything for this person. And I think I kind of told Adrian a little bit of this too. And so like limiting your collaborations like that, like this has a expiration date, right? Like I'm not going to do this with you for years on end, like we're just going to collaborate on this one project. So you're sort of testing out the collaboration. I guess that's a tip I have is don't commit to anything long term until you've known a person for, let's say, 3 years and you've collaborated on like many stuff. Because I've had a lot of other collaborations too, like teachwriting.org, and that still exists. And I'm still, we haven't posted on there a lot, but like that was like a group blog, and that's benefited all of us. And there's been ups and downs with that. So I don't know.
Well, I think this was a great episode and yeah, I'm excited for the next one.
Are we going to do a part two, or do we have more to say about this? What do you
I
think?
feel kind of done with it, but we could talk about more things. I don't know.
Like
We'll
collaborative
discuss it.
blogging. You've done that before. You've done a lot of collaborations.
Yeah, I
Um,
like I said, dozens and dozens more than I can even count.
yeah, yeah. So listeners, we'll look at the analytics of this episode, and if you want to keep hearing about this, let us know. Because we have a lot more to say, but I don't know if we're going to do a part two. Okay, goodbye. Namaste.